Hi, I'm Robert Wright from England. I've been a speed addict, because you can call it, for 40 years. And once I became somewhat financially able, my love for race cars finally hit home. So I've been racing in race cars for 20 years. I race go-karts as well with a lot of kids that I mentor. I had a bad wreck driving cars, so I was very frustrated why I couldn't get in my race car. I couldn't drive my race car. When I would strap myself in or my pit guy would put me in, I would still feel the pain driving. And that was a negative, because every time you go around a fast corner, the last thing you want is pain. I looked into regenerative medicine for a couple of reasons. One, where I come from in England, a lot of medication, oversubscribed medication. So I came to America. I've been living here for 40 years. The culture is very big on pill popping. Any ailments, give you a pill. Unfortunately, that's not my MO. So I looked into this treatment. I was a bit skeptical at first, because I wasn't sure whether it's kind of one-hit wonder. But I had certain ailments. I had a torn rotator cuff, and it was bugging me for years. And then it got to inhibit my ability to drive a race car. And there were certain things I couldn't do, like I couldn't get into a race car, I couldn't get myself out of a race car. So once I had the treatment, my driving was so much better because I was pain-free. I could work on the track, my speed and my lines, and not have a hard time with my pain. And then when I go out the car, I could not get out the car, and I'll give you a demonstration. I could not put my hands on the side of the car and lift myself out without a lot of pain. And that was a big thing. It's embarrassing to get in a race car and then can't get out. I've had treatment for neuropathy on my feet. I've had it in my back for a little trapped nerve. And the greatest one I had it in my shoulder on a Monday for arthritis in my right shoulder. And this is probably hard for you guys to believe, but on Tuesday morning, it had gone. So the next day, my range of motion in my right shoulder, I could completely rotate the shoulder all the way around completely to match my left shoulder. I've become a better driver because I'm more confident in my body. I do abuse my body 24/7. I do. That's not kind of any line. I do totally abuse my body. At 61, I feel my energy level is like 18. And I think the treatment will benefit people if they have a great attitude, good diet, exercise. It will complement the whole procedure.
Pain level was at 9 and 10 severe headaches and throughout my neck area, my shoulder area. As I'm sitting here at this moment on day 3, my pain level is probably a 1, maybe 2. And 72 hours after the procedure was done, I noticed an extreme difference in the pain level. I didn't suffer from the headaches anymore. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up with severe headaches, and they were unbearable. And of course, I took an ibuprofen, 500 milligrams, and everything else, and that subsided to some degree, but not a whole lot.
And how often did you get those headaches?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. The next day after the procedure, 24 hours after, the headaches subsided completely.
So no headaches?
No headaches. And this is day 3, and I absolutely have no headaches whatsoever. My neck movement, I wasn't able to move my head either left or right to any degree without severe pain, and now I can take and turn. This is the 3rd day, and I notice a little bit of discomfort, very little, and I can rotate my head, which I wasn't able to do at all without moving my whole body. Ablation was a very lengthy process, and then also a temporary fix, only 8 to 9 months at the most. And then I had epidural injections and steroid injections in my shoulder. They worked all right, but there was a temporary fix, only lasted maybe 4 to 5 weeks at the most.
What have you seen over the last 72 hours since he had the stem cell treatment?
I have seen a new man. He turns his head both directions. He's constantly testing himself. I mean, I can't believe it, because he has hurt for so long, and it's incredible.
That's amazing. So he can't get out of the honey-do list anymore?
No, not anymore.
I'm Taylor Gabriel for the Atlanta Falcons.
Ryan, pressure up the middle, throws. He's got a man wide open, and he connects. It's Taylor Gabriel off to the races. Touchdown!
I came in for stem cell for a turf toe and a shoulder. As a high-end athlete, you don't want to go to Mexico and things like that.
Right.
Try to put those stem cells in your body.
They get rid of it quickly, come near side. Gabriel, look at the cuts and the speed. Gabriel, still going. Touchdown.
You have to use natural ointments, natural things, because that's what makes you. That's what I feel personally, that it helps me to become the best player, the best person I can be, to stay on the football field. And the whole experience, it was very comfortable. Nothing was outside of what you would think of getting brand new cells into your body. My agent, good friend of mine, he's excited about the stem cells and the whole process and the movement that this has going, and it's taken over. My agency was researching vitality stem cells, and he was so excited for me and my process and giving my body 100%. He also booked an appointment.
I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, I travel for a living. I've ministered all over the world, about 40 different countries, and I live on my feet. And about 18 months ago, I developed a really challenging situation in my feet, discovered it was plantar fasciitis. And I've gone to podiatrists, I've been to bone doctors, I've been to dermatologists, different things, because it even caused other kind of issues with my skin on my feet. It would start just, the moment I would get on them, inflammation would start hitting my feet, and that would swell. I could not find a comfortable shoe. Podiatrists, I spent hundreds of dollars on podiatrist expenses, inserts. I got the absolute, $500 inserts, custom fit. Nothing solved my issue. And I began to hear about this process of stem cell, and I am a Google maniac. I began to Google like crazy. I'm going, okay, it's a unique process. It's not necessarily widely recognized, but the reports that I began to hear of success were overwhelming for a number of challenges physically that people would face. And I just went through the process, and I will tell you, from the moment I walked in, I was overwhelmed with the class. This is a classy organization. You always walk in with a little apprehension, even after you do all your research. There's still that apprehension we all deal with. She had a knowledge that really, in me, produced a great sense of comfort and ease that I was doing the right thing. And I hate needles. Who doesn't hate needles? But I will tell you, the process that she uses, I did not feel a thing. The procedure that she did on my feet, I actually videoed from my phone camera, and I was going, I'm actually videoing needles going into my ankles and into my feet, and it was pain-free, I will tell you.
My name is Ray Story. I first heard about this on the newspaper ad, and we decided to come over and check it out, and found out that they work on neuropathy, which I've had. Apparently I got because I was stationed in Vietnam back in the 60s, and it developed here a few years back and got so bad that I couldn't feel my feet, couldn't feel my toes, couldn't wiggle my toes, and so we decided we had to do something. So we took this ad to heart, called about it, got a chance to come over and meet with the staff over here. It was great from the very get-go. Started off, I met with the doctor, and then got to meet up with Sarah and the staff in the front office and the nurses, and they're great. And the stem cell, I was not a believer before, but I am now. The stem cell, they injected stem cells in both of my ankles, and that very evening I started getting tingling in my feet, which I hadn't had for a year and a half, 2 years. They were totally numb. And now I can wiggle my toes. I have sensations when somebody touches them, I can feel it, and it kind of tickles. Never had that before, and I'm just as happy as can be. And I think I'm on the road to recovery. I don't know if it'll be full recovery, but at least my balance is probably, I would say, at least 90% better than it was. I was tipping over, and now I can balance. I can go up and down stairs without grabbing a hold of something. So I'm very, very happy with what's going on here. Probably the best people to work with. They're totally positive. Everybody's positive here. They're willing to help and do anything that it takes to get you healthy and on the road again. to recovery. Very happy with everybody associated with this office.
Did you think 6 months ago you would ever get back to skiing?
No,
That's huge.
no, my legs were so numb, I thought, I'm done. Because my balance was so off. I mean, I had to grab a hold of something going up and down stairs. And now I just up and down stairs, no problem.
Name's Mike Curran. Serious back problems. Probably 30 years, but over the years it's got progressively worse until the last couple of years it's really been quite unbearable. No more back pain, some stiffness and soreness, which just comes with my workout routine and activities, but the pain is gone. And it was serious pain. Mainly my snowboarding and golf.
Okay.
Two of my lifelong passions, and I've given them both up because of my back situation. The pain was just too great.
With the progress you have just a month in, do you think you'll be snowboarding this winter?
The snowboarding will be, yes, I can snowboard right now. I would say try this before you do surgery.
I had 8 of the 10 symptoms of neuropathy, the tingling of the feet, the painful feet, no feeling in my toes, like band across my ankles when I walked, and evening time was very painful to get up and to walk through the house. And 2 days later I had the stem cell, and the next day I had no pain in my feet. The next morning I could not believe it. And I have a little twinge now and then, but basically I am pain-free. Balance issues. I had plantar fasciitis diagnosed.
About how many years were you dealing with those symptoms before you came in?
I think like 6 or 7 years that it progressed.
How has your life changed? Like, as far as what activities are you able to do now that you couldn't do 6 months ago?
I'm more of a happy gardener.
You're a happy gardener? I like that. Well,
and I'll probably walk my dogs more now because my husband took over that activity. So now I can take them for more walks than what I did for 2 or 3 years.
that's important.
They love it.
All right, Judy, thank you so much.
I think it's a marvelous program, and I would recommend it.
Occupation is professional football player. I'm coming up on 7 years playing professional football. The average career is basically 2.5 to 3 years. Over the years, I've had hamstring issues, many hamstring issues, from slight pulls to, complete grade 2, grade 3 pulls. So that and, lower back issues have been my main thing. And me being a speed player, I need my lower back and my hamstrings to be 100% functional. They have one of the best medical staffs here in town and across the nation. So it's pretty much a no-brainer for me to come here and get this treatment done. When I first walked through the doors, being greeted by the receptionist first and foremost is a big thing to me. If they're not personable, and don't have your best interest in heart, it's gonna be hard for you to come here and feel comfortable. So as soon as I walked through the door, I felt very comfortable. This is a serious treatment, and it's not something that you want to take lightly or be just in a regular place. So being able to walk in here, feel comfortable, and knowing that I'm in good hands is number one in my mind. Knowing that it's 100% safe.
I just had my second knee injection, and I'm thrilled to death. 4 years ago, I was told I needed a knee replacement. I'm bone on bone on my left knee, and half a bone on bone on my other knee. I had read about stem cells years ago, so I refused to do the knee replacement. I wasn't going to do it. I said, I'm going to wait until I find out more about the stem cells. And that was 4 years ago. And all of a sudden this year, I found it. I went running to the meeting and heard all about it, and I came the next day and I scheduled the injection the following day, and I have been thrilled to death. I went to bed after my first injection, and I woke up the next morning and I started walking and I started to cry. I was so happy. I had no pain at all. I was able to walk barefoot to the bathroom with no pain. And usually I have to wear my tennis shoes, slip my tennis shoes on with my orthotics to be able to not be in pain. And I did it barefoot and I couldn't believe it. I just started to cry, but it was happiness. It was tears of happiness. And I've been happy ever since. I think my depression has gone away. I don't feel like seeing my therapist anymore. I'm like done with being unhappy. I'm thrilled to live now and very excited about life and very pleased. And so I thank the Lord for finding and getting to know about the cells right away.
I love the stem cells I had on my knees, and it completely disappeared, so I'm going to have him do my hips next. I recommend everybody should get it done, because if they complain about their knees and the problems they go through, they should do it.
Well, last summer I'd injured my knee playing basketball with my grandson, and I'd given up all hope other than have knee surgery, because I didn't want to miss work. And I came in and they offered me an alternative of stem cells and a quicker recovery and a different expense than it would have been with me losing work and suffering pain and rehabilitation. And it's been a little bit less than 2 months, and my range of mobility is at least 90%, maybe 95%, and I'm almost pain-free.
How many friends have you told?
Everyone. Really, over 100 people.
Have you told your orthopedist?
I don't have one.
Excellent.
My name is Joanne Meyer. I'm an advocate for stem cell replacement. Absolutely. I had my left hand, my right hip, my lower back, and my neck and shoulders.
Wow. And how long ago was the injection?
It's been a little over 2 months ago.
Okay, and how are the results?
Oh, every day I just feel better and better. The first day the inflammation was gone and it just took away 90% of the pain. And every day it just gets better and I love it. I totally recommend it.
What are some things that you're able to do today that you couldn't 2 months ago?
Oh, just about everything. I haven't gotten back to golf yet, but
okay.
In fact, a friend of mine called this morning and she asked me how I was doing with the stem cell, and I says, just great. But I says, I really need to lose 50 pounds so that I can walk the course without huffing and puffing.
Okay. Well, that's good if that's the only thing that's stopping you from
really,
golfing now.
Yeah, because I can walk and stand so much longer than I could before, and I love it.
That's incredible.
My name is Bobby Thompson, 23-year veteran in the United States Army. I started off as a combat medic and ended my career as a logistic personnel. Of course, you know, you're gonna retire if you retire and have a lot of aches and pains within, you know, your service. And as, you know, the months and days went on, I actually started having a lot of back pain. I mean, pain from my neck all the way down to my shoulders, arms, everything. And it was just a pain that I've never, ever felt before. At a certain point, I started feeling like, I mean, whatever is needed to be done is going to be done, and I need to have it done quickly. And so after going to, you know, different hospitals and neurologists to be able to check me out and see what was going on, and they kind of let me know, you know, what was going on with my back. You know, when I retired, one of my disabilities on my back were bone spurs, disc degeneration, things like that, you know, bulging disc, and it just, you know, it was a pain that I never felt before. And at my age, 52, I just definitely didn't want to live that way. I actually ran into a doctor and he just recommended something to me as far as doing, instead of surgery, regenerative medicine, doing some type of thing like that. And I said, okay, he's dealing with, you know, something that don't have to entail any surgery. So I said, okay, let's do that. And so therefore I went ahead and did research, Google, whatever, talked to people that were specialists to, you know, let me know more insight and what could it do for me and how soon can it happen for me. And went in, did the procedure, and I don't know how it works on everyone else. I think it's kind of different, you know, with everyone's body, but my actual experience, within maybe a month, I felt a lot better. The pain was not the same at all, almost gone. And right now today, and I think it's been about maybe close to a year, maybe 9 months, 10 months, I feel great. I can do things that I've done back in the past, and just able to, like I said, play with my grandkid, pick them up, throw them around, just and go to the gym and work out and have a great life. And I'm just so grateful for being able to talk to someone and have this procedure done versus surgery. And I'm not selling it or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're gonna try to do something, this is something that you should at least go and try to read up on, get literature, whatever you need to do it, because it worked for me and I love it and I feel good. And this right here is something that people should know about and get into.
Tell us your name.
Jimmy Tuberville.
And why did you come to see us?
Because I have numbness of the feet, burning of the feet, and just all kind of associated things.
Okay. How long had that been going on?
Years. I've had it for years.
And what had you tried?
Oh, I've tried SAD, we've tried shots, we've tried all kind of stuff. Lyrica.
Okay.
None of it seemed to work.
Okay. And what did you have done here?
Well, we went to the seminar you had, and after the interview and consultation, I decided to go that way, and it's been tremendous help. It's probably been 95 to 98% effective for me.
Great. Would you recommend this to a friend?
I would, yes. Anybody's got a problem. Don't even have to be a friend.
Great. And are you off the medications now?
Yeah, I don't take any oral medication at all.
Wonderful. Anything else you'd like to tell people about your therapy?
If you hear about it, go do it. It's that beneficial.
I just wanted to let you know that I've been having lower back problems for over 20 years. I was unable to pretty much ride in the car to the grocery store, get myself dressed, get up and down out of a chair. Anyway, I've been to doctors, I've been to chiropractors, I've been to physical therapy, been on plenty of pain pills, and it all just comes back to being sore, being hurt, having tons of lower back problems. And I did some research on some stem cells, decided, hey, I'm going to give it a try. Went in for the stem cells, was able to go on vacation 2 weeks after I had the stem cells with my family, 5.5-hour flight to Hawaii. My daughter turned over to me and says, Mom, how are you doing? How's your back? I looked at her like, wow, I never thought twice. Would I do stem cells again? I would do them in a second. Nobody could put a price tag on that kind of recovery. I have my life back. I have my value of life back. So anyway, thank you.
I twisted my back in 1998, and from then on, I was in pain 24/7. I had trouble walking sometimes. I had to use a cane. 4 years ago, I developed spinal stenosis, and that was the killer. My legs went numb, and I was afraid I couldn't stand anymore. I didn't know what to do. My doctor said that I could not have surgery because I have a nerve disorder that might interfere with it. I had no options, so I had the stem cells, and let me tell you, in a day and a half, for the first time in 18 years, I had no pain. I didn't even remember what it was like not to have pain, but I had no pain. It was amazing. I really think that if you have arthritis or any type of disc disease, this is the type of procedure to have, because you might look at the cost and say, oh, that cost a lot. But what does surgery cost? And if you only have to rest a little bit for a month compared to recovery for 6 months to 18 months for back surgery, what's really worth it? Every dime is worth it for the recovery that I've had. And I am so thankful that I was able to find this.
I had joint pain throughout my body, but I also had severe injuries to my ankle and my shoulder. In the 9 months since I've had that, my joint pain in my hips have totally gone away. It was to where I couldn't stand to drive and sit for any length of time. Since then, the joint pain has totally gone out of my hips, it's gone out of my right knee. They wanted to do another knee surgery. I've had 4 knee surgeries. And my shoulder pain and ankle pain, which had severe tears in them, and my ankle actually had a stress fracture in it. The stress fracture is totally healed, and the tears are mostly healed. When they did the sonogram just a week ago, most of the tearing was gone. You could see where the scar tissue was. If you feed your body what is really healthy, those cells are going to work better. Not just the cells that you already have, but the stem cells that you have been injected with. You're going to get the most benefit out of those cells because you're giving them every benefit you can to keep them healthy. Oh my gosh, what can I say about the staff? They are like family to me. They are just the most loving group of people I have ever met. They check on me every couple months. You walk in, they give you hugs. And I mean, they just put you at ease. They're willing to talk about anything. They're never in a hurry. They answer all your questions. My most recent job is I'm a handy woman. I'm 65 years old, and I hang sheetrock, I lay tile, I build sheds, I rebuild fences, I texture walls, I'm up on roofs, I'm crawling under houses, replacing sewer lines. You name it, I've been doing it.
That's amazing.
And I want to keep doing it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Adams. All my life I've been very active, been a motorcyclist, avid hunter, fisherman. In January, I suffered an injury where I fractured my left hip. I went to the VA as I'm a veteran, and they did an MRI and told me that I not only had a fracture, but I also had osteoporosis. They referred me to an orthopedic surgeon, and at that time, his initial recommendation was hip replacement. The challenge, in his words, was because of my age, I'm 51, that in about 10 to 15 years, I'd have to have the procedure done again. That's not something I was really looking forward to. So as a physician, I had interest already in regenerative medicine and stem cells, so we pursued that option. Shortly after the consult with the orthopedist, we did the injection, and about 3 months later, we went back and had a follow-up MRI. To my surprise and theirs, I no longer showed any evidence of osteoporosis nor a fracture. 6 months later, I did a 2,800-mile motorcycle trip up through New England and back. Had no problems whatsoever. I've been fishing this year, I've been kayaking, been very active. What I can say about regenerative medicine is that it gave me my life back. I'm active again. I do all the things that I enjoy, and I don't have to worry that this injury is going to happen again.